Well, both Israel and its ally, the US, have claimed they have evidence and intelligence that suggests Hamas has used Al-Shifa Hospital for its military operations. So let's take a look at the timeline of events in Al-Shifa in the past 24 hours. Around 22:12 GMT on Tuesday, the spokesman for the Gaza Health Ministry told Al Jazeera that Israeli military vehicles were at the gates of the Al-Shifa medical complex. By then, the hospital was being surrounded by Israeli forces for a sixth day. At around 23 GMT, Palestinian health officials say the Israeli military told them a raid would be carried out in the coming minutes. At 005 GMT, Israeli forces tweeted they were, quote, carrying out a precise and targeted operation against Hamas in a specified area in the hospital based on intelligence information and operational necessity. Now, in the hours that followed, Israeli forces detained at least 200 people in the courtyard of the complex. They went to the basements of all the buildings, ransacked the hospital and destroyed equipment. Al-Shifa's director told Al Jazeera that doctors couldn't even go to the pharmacy because anyone who moved risked getting shot. Well, joining us live from Montreal in Canada is Middle East analyst Mouin Rabbani. Thank you very much for joining us here on Al Jazeera. First of all, I just want to ask you about the latest claims that have come out in the last 10 minutes or so from the Israeli army, claiming that they have evidence that Hamas had a command and control centre within the hospital.
Yes, well, my sources tell me they actually found Iraqi weapons of mass destruction in Al-Shifa Hospital. Look, none of this ever made sense. There is simply no instance on record where a military believes it has located the secret command headquarters of its enemy and then announces its location weeks in advance in order to get at it. It simply never made sense. Now we have Israeli forces have invaded Shifa Hospital and been inside it for 12 full hours, having refused any independent party to accompany them. And now we're supposed to believe that there were Hamas militants in there being pursued by the Israeli military, but somehow left their weapons behind. I think the real story here is, look, neither Israel nor Palestine have English as an official language. When is the last time that in Germany or Egypt or Colombia, medical supplies were labeled medical supplies in large English letters without even indicating what kind of supplies are in the boxes that the Israelis were taking into Shifa Hospital? So the real question to ask here is which party exactly has been using medical facilities as camouflage to smuggle weaponry into a hospital? And to me, indisputably, it is Israel in order to plant this evidence.
Why do you think that the Israeli army has spent so much time and effort, over the last few weeks, like you've said, focusing on Al-Shifa Hospital? What is it about that hospital that they are so determined to get at?
Well, I think there are several issues. I think first we have to recognize that while the Israeli military is a very efficient killing machine, it's not much of a serious fighting force, especially when it comes to ground operations. So they've built Al-Shifa Hospital into kind of a Palestinian Pentagon. But the fact of the matter is, 40 days into this war, their main achievement is raising the Israeli flag over a hospital, which I think to any serious military analyst is laughable. Of course, their other main achievement is that the only democracy in the universe has today blown up the Palestinian parliament in Gaza City, which has in fact been there since before the occupation started. So I think part of it is elevating the status and symbolism of this hospital so that they can claim a major victory by having raised their flag over a hospital in the absence of other significant military achievements.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to interrupt there. Now that they've taken control of it and raised their flag over it, like you put it, what do they do now? There's 2,500 patients and staff and other displaced people sheltering there. What is their long-term plan?
Well, they do what they always have done. They'll ransack the place, destroy equipment, kill a few people, declare victory, and move on to their next victims. I have to say, also, that there are a lot of people besides the Israeli leadership and Israeli soldiers who have blood on their hands regarding what's been going on at Shifa. Politicians, from UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres to Joe Biden, to all the Western heads of government, heads of state, members of parliament, who have all uncritically parroted Israeli claims about Al-Shifa Hospital, to the many Western journalists who have effectively acted as stenographers for the Israeli military and allowed Israeli representatives to repeatedly make these accusations, more often than not without challenge, and effectively ignored Palestinian denials of what was and what wasn't inside Al-Shifa Hospital. All these people have blood on their hands. It's not only the Israelis who invaded the hospital.
Okay, thank you so much. We really do appreciate your insight. That is Mouin Rabbani, a Middle East analyst. Thank you.
Thank you.